Edinburgh Castle, a comprehensive history, is one of Scotland's most iconic landmarks and a symbol of the nation's storied history. The fortress has dominated the skyline of the Scottish capital for centuries. Its strategic position, towering over the city of Edinburgh, marked by battles, royal intrigues, sieges. This essay will provide a detailed examination of the history of Edinburgh Castle, from its early beginnings through the medieval period, its role in the wars of Scottish independence, its significance in the development of Scotland as a nation, and its eventual transformation into a modern tourist attraction. Fascinating layers of history. 1. The origins of Edinburgh Castle. The origins of Edinburgh Castle date back to prehistoric times, when the volcanic rock it sits on was first recognized for its defensive potential. Bronze Age or Early Iron Age, possibly as early as the 2nd century, making it an ideal location for settlement. However, it wasn't until the early Middle Ages that the site began to take on a more significant role. The name Edinburgh is believed to derive from the Old English Edensburg that occupied the site in the early medieval period. 2. The castle's early history, 6th to 11th century. By the 6th century, the area that is now Edinburgh Castle was a vital part of the Kingdom of Northumbria, an Anglo-Saxon kingdom. The kingdom was a crucial player in early British history. In the 7th century, the site played a role in the spread of Christianity, coincided with the rising importance of Edinburgh as a military and political centre. By the late 11th century, the Kingdom of Scotland had emerged, and Edinburgh Castle became part of Scottish territory. Malcolm III, also known as Malcolm Canmore, is often associated with the development of the early fortifications on the site. His reign marked the beginning of the castle's central role in Scottish royal affairs. 3. Edinburgh Castle in the medieval period. The medieval period saw Edinburgh Castle strategic importance. Under the reign of David I, is credited with modernizing the castle's structure and expanding its role as both a fortress and a royal palace, which remains the oldest surviving building in the castle and is one of the few remnants of the early medieval period. Named after David's mother, Queen Margaret, the chapel reflects the increasing significance of Christianity in the royal court. Throughout the 12th and 13th centuries, Edinburgh Castle continued to be the seat of Scottish kings. Scotland's relations with its neighbours, particularly England, for the Wars of Scottish Independence, one of the most tumultuous periods in Edinburgh Castle's history occurred during the Wars of Scottish Independence in the conflict between Scotland and England over Scottish sovereignty had a profound impact on the castle. In 1296, Edward I of England invaded Scotland, marking the first of several times the castle would change hands during the wars. However, as the Scots, led by the legendary William Wallace, recaptured it in 1297, became even more pronounced in the early 14th century, when Robert the Bruce, one of Scotland's greatest heroes, rose to prominence. In 1314, Bruce's nephew, Thomas Randolph, led a daring assault to recapture the castle from English forces, bolstering morale and consolidating Bruce's control over Scotland. Following the recapture, Bruce ordered the destruction of the castle's defences to prevent it from falling into English hands again. For several years, to resist English domination. 5. Renaissance and the rebuilding of the castle. The Scottish monarchy focused on consolidating power and creating a more centralised state, and Edinburgh Castle played a key role in this process. The castle is now home to several museums and exhibitions that explore Scotland's military, provides a detailed account of Scotland's military past, from the medieval period to the present day. In addition to its role as a museum and tourist attraction, Edinburgh Castle continues to serve as a ceremonial site. The annual Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo, military bands and performers from around the globe, such as the inauguration of the Scottish Parliament and the celebration of royal visits, St. Margaret's Chapel, built in the early 12th century. The chapel is dedicated to Queen Margaret, wife of Malcolm III, who was canonized in 1250. The Great Hall, completed in 1511 during the reign of James IV. The Great Hall was the heart of royal ceremonies and gatherings. It still retains much of its original splendor, with its hammerbeam roof and medieval weaponry displayed on the walls. The honours of Scotland, the Scottish crown jewels, sceptre and sword of state, and are displayed in the crown room of the castle. Min's Meg is a massive medieval bombard cannon. It was capable of firing stone balls, weighing over 300 pounds, and was used in several sieges during its active service.